Researchers studied 172,000 people over 30 years and found that 5 specific habits could add up to 24 years to your life. Not medications, not expensive supplements, not genetic luck, just food choices and 2 types of exercise done consistently. The formula exists, the science is clear, and almost nobody is following it. Today I am going to give it to you in plain language so you can start immediately. Welcome to Rich Mind Daily, where we cover not just how to build wealth, but how to stay healthy long enough to actually enjoy it. Because living to 90 broken sick is not the goal. Today we are breaking down exactly what the world's leading longevity researchers say about food, cardio, and weight training, and how combining all 3 creates a biological environment where your body simply ages more slowly. Let us get into it. The foods that consistently predict a longer life. The longest-lived populations on Earth, in Sardinia, Okinawa, and the Greek island of Ikaria, share a remarkably similar dietary pattern, despite living thousands of miles apart. Their diets are built around vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and olive oil. They eat animal protein sparingly, typically fish 2 to 3 times per week, and very little red meat. A 2023 Harvard study found that people who followed a primarily plant-based diet had a 34% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease and a 25% lower risk of dying from any cause compared to those eating a standard Western diet. The specific foods with the strongest longevity evidence include blueberries, leafy greens, salmon, walnuts, lentils, and extra virgin olive oil. These are not exotic superfoods, they are accessible, affordable, and backed by decades of consistent research. Why protein becomes more important as you age. Most people think of protein as something bodybuilders care about. The reality is that adequate protein intake is one of the most critical longevity factors for anyone over 40. After the age of 30, the human body loses 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade through a process called sarcopenia. By 70, many people have lost 30% or more of their functional muscle. This muscle loss is directly linked to falls, fractures, metabolic decline, and early death. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition recommends that adults over 50 consume at least 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, significantly higher than standard government guidelines. Prioritizing eggs, fish, legumes, Greek yogurt, and lean meats at every meal is one of the simplest and most impactful longevity decisions you can make starting today. Cardio. How much is actually enough? The World Health Organization recommends 150 minutes of moderate cardio per week for general health, but longevity research points to a specific sweet spot that goes slightly beyond this. A major study published in the journal JAMA Internal Medicine followed 650,000 adults and found that those who exercised at moderate intensity for 450 minutes per week, about 65 minutes per day, had a life expectancy 4.5 years longer than those who did no exercise. The good news is that the type of cardio matters less than the consistency. Walking briskly, cycling, swimming, dancing, all produce similar longevity benefits when done regularly. You do not need to run marathons. You need to elevate your heart rate consistently, 5 to 6 days per week, for at least 45 minutes. Weightlifting. The most underrated longevity tool. For decades, weight training was considered optional for anyone not interested in appearance. The science has completely reversed this view. A landmark study from the University of Michigan found that people who strength trained at least twice per week had a 46% lower risk of dying from any cause than those who did not. Muscle mass is now understood to be one of the strongest predictors of longevity, more predictive than body weight, cholesterol levels, or even blood pressure in some studies. Weight training preserves bone density, improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and maintains the fast-twitch muscle fibers responsible for balance and fall prevention in older age. You do not need a gym membership. 2 sessions per week using bodyweight exercises, squats, push-ups, rows, and lunges is enough to produce significant and measurable longevity benefits. The combination effect. Why all 3 together multiply results. Here is what most health content misses. Food, cardio, and strength training do not simply add their benefits together. They multiply each other. Protein intake supports muscle synthesis from weight training. Cardio improves the cardiovascular system that delivers oxygen to muscles during exercise. Strength training increases insulin sensitivity, which makes your body process the food you eat more efficiently. A 2022 study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that people who combined regular aerobic exercise with strength training had a 40% lower risk of early death than those who did only one or the other. The formula is not complicated. Eat mostly whole foods with adequate protein, do 45 minutes of cardio 5 days a week, and lift weights or do resistance training twice a week. That combination, done consistently for years, is what the data says adds decades to a healthy life. You now have the exact formula that the world's top longevity researchers agree on. No supplements, no extreme diets, no hours in the gym every day, just 3 consistent habits applied over time. If this video gave you something useful, hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing and helps this channel reach more people. Subscribe to Rich Mind Daily for weekly videos on building both your wealth and your health. Drop a comment below. Which of these 3 habits do you find hardest to maintain? Food, cardio, or weights? I read every single comment. See you in the next one.